Welcome back to the Haven Homestead podcast, where we learn and grow together on our way to living more sustainable lives. My name is Chris, and this is episode 47. Today we're going to be talking about 10 plants that we are going to plant this year. Some of them we've tried before, and some are brand new addition. So we're going to give it a whirl and see just how it all turns out. But before we get into the show, I'm going to front load my advertisements this episode. I did some of them in the end of the episode and some in the middle. I think I like the at the beginning because then we can just get it over and done with, and I can focus on the podcast episode and not have to worry about where to insert a commercial or the information or just forget it altogether. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here at the beginning. I think that's how we'll do it from here on out. Unless I get some information from you guys. It just depends what you guys like. It doesn't really matter what I like, as long as you find it entertaining and informative. Something else that's informative and entertaining is our website. It's at www.havenhomestead.com, and there you can find out all kinds of things about us. Mainly, see pictures of our homestead. As soon as you go to our website, you'll be greeted with a sign up for our newsletter pop-up. If you would be so kind as to sign up for our newsletter, then we can send you once a month going-ons here and some good, helpful links to help you in your sustainable life. And if you don't want to sign up for the newsletter, that's okay too. We're still friends. We appreciate all the people that sign up for it. We don't get anything really for it, but we just feel like we are helping people in general more when we have more people sign up. Also, please don't forget to visit us on YouTube, where you can hear all of our episodes. Also, Facebook, we're Haven Homestead on there. Just look for the right location. We're in Washington. Also, Instagram at The Haven Homestead, and Twitter is Haven Homestead. So we're on all those social media sites, and just punching in Haven Homestead will get you in the right direction. Also, please consider supporting us through Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/Haven Homestead. And that really helps us keep this show going, helps us to be able to help other people. We don't use any of the money that comes through Patreon for our own things. We just use it for the podcast and our education classes by buying gear and buying equipment to help make this show even better. I haven't yet paid myself anything out of it. I just feel like that's something that you guys have help me out with so that we can keep doing this podcast and helping people all over the country, and we're international as well, so I guess all over the world as well. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart to all of you that have supported us, and those that haven't yet, if you are able to, I would appreciate your support. Last but not least, a word from our sponsors. Happy Leafs LED Anywhere Anytime Garden in a Box makes a great gift for the gardener lover in your life. For just $65, and it is just $65 unless you use the promo code, you get one 4-inch LED grow light and USB power supply. It uses the micro USB, not the barrel connector. So I find that as really useful. So in case you need to use your phone charger or use that as a phone charger, you have the ability to. It's a little more flexible that way. The LED light suspension tools, a light timer, 4 black plastic net pots, hydroponic clay pellets, growing medium, hydroponic nutrients, and seeds. And they usually send you lettuce seeds with those. All you have to do is add mason jars and water to this kit, and you are growing vegetables in your house. With their advanced LED grow light and easy passive hydroponic starter kit, anyone can master indoor gardening anywhere, anytime. Visit www.happyleafled.com today to get your kit. Don't forget to use the coupon code FRIEND in all capital letters for a 10% discount. And please also don't forget, when you buy something from Happy Leaf LED, to go ahead and put on their Haven Homestead when it says, "Where'd you hear about this?" The Haven Homestead podcast. That way that they know where your love's coming from. That's that. We're all caught up when bills are paid. So let's go on to the topic at hand. And that is 10 plants we are planting this year. Some of these we've done before. Or we've talked about before, like I didn't put in here carrots or tomatoes, although we will be planting those. But I did a few good old standbys and a few a little bit different things that we're going to try this year. So number one is loofah. And I did a whole show on the amazing loofah, and it is indeed an amazing plant. But it's a tender plant that takes a long time to grow. So we're going to give it a whirl here. We're going to go all in, and we're going to get some support trellises. We're going to get some, we already bought some row covers so we can get them started earlier because they really don't like cold. And if you're wondering what the loofah is, you can listen to the episode, or I'll just give you a real quick lowdown on what a loofah is. And it is related to the cucumber family, and it's a vining plant that if you get them small, like between like 3 to 6 inches of growth, then you can go ahead and eat those fruit fresh. But if you wait until they're a little bit bigger, full maturity, when they start turning yellow, just like a cucumber will when it starts to get mature, then you can go ahead and dry it out and pick the skin off, dump the seeds out, and you have a sponge that you can use in your bath, as a body scrub, or you can use it in your kitchen as a dish scrub, and they last a long time. So Lindsay and I will be getting some seeds here pretty soon. We've already got the row covers. We've got some fence that we can grow on, and we had a neighbor that said he'd let us use a large garden spot near his shop. So we're going to try to do a market garden of loofah this year. So that is the first interesting thing that we're going to try. And I'll keep you updated, and I'll let you know how it worked out. The next one we're going to try is turnip. So turnips are a really nice, kind of like a really big and really mild radish. The greens are really good to eat, just like radish greens. They're cool weather. They grow really quickly. They're good substitute, they say, for potatoes as well. You can grow them in either autumn or spring because they're a cool weather crop. So that means you can either plant them in the spring to be used, to mature late spring or summer, or you can plant them in the autumn and it will mature before the winter hits real hard. They have pretty quick growing. I know some radishes, like the smaller radishes, are ready to harvest in 28 days from planting. I mean, that's not even a month. It's awesome. With the turnips, you'll direct seed. That means you'll plant them right into the garden, and then you want to thin them to 4 to 6 inches apart so that their little roots can make the bulb on the bottom. If you don't thin them, then they won't develop a root. They'll just keep growing the green part. The next plant we're going to try is parsnip. So parsnip is another cool weather plant, but it kind of takes a long time to grow, kind of like a carrot. So you want to plant it. You can plant it early, like in the early spring, and it'll germinate in 2 to 3 weeks. What some people have done is they take your parsnip and they plant the seeds in the ground in a row after they've dug the soil down or loosened the soil down to 12 to 15 inches. They've planted their parsnips in a row, and then they've gone back and planted radishes right next to them, because the radishes pop up fairly quickly. That way that your radishes can germinate in just a couple days. So you are marking the row with radish greens, and then after a month you pop those up, and by that time the parsnip's kind of not very big, but it's growing and you know where it's at, so that you use the radish as a row marker. And it just struck my mind that radishes are really kind of a workhorse of the garden. They do so many good things. If you remember my companion planting episode, you want to plant a little radish in with your cucumbers to help keep away cucumber beetles, and also around squashes to help keep away squash beetles. So we're going to also plant radishes with our loofah to hopefully, I don't know what would be the pest that might invade them, but we're going to go ahead and put the radishes there. So they're good to eat. They're fast growing. Talking about radishes now, which is the next one on the list. They're fast growing. They're good to eat. They're useful for marking rows. They're useful for keeping away bugs. Radishes are great. And I'm going to plant 2 different varieties. But I just want to finish up on the parsnip. Sorry, jumping back and forth. With the parsnip, it takes 2-3 weeks, like I said, to germinate. And it's mature in 16 weeks. That's 4 months. And they're sweeter after a few frosts. So the reason why we're going to plant parsnips is I was out at a camp out with the Boy Scouts, and one of the other leaders brought parsnip or a few parsnips that he put in with the potatoes he was cooking. It made kind of a potato soup. And those parsnips were so good. They're kind of sweet, and if you mash them up with potatoes, you can't hardly tell the difference. The consistency is pretty similar once they're boiled, but they were just great. And I told my wife, I said, we need to try at least growing parsnips, because I really enjoyed eating them. And then we've used them here at the house for putting in with slow cook stuff, and they're just a great plant all around uses. So I never tried to eat them raw, but I've just eat them boiled, and I like them a lot. So we're going to do the parsnip. Now back down to the radish. We're going to plant 2 different kinds of radish. One is the daikon. And the Daikon Radish is a Chinese variety. Actually, so one's Chinese, I'm going to do a Chinese variety and a Japanese variety. So the Daikon radishes, they take 60 to 70 days from what I've heard. And this is just on one website, it said 60 to 70 days. So it's a really slow radish, and it has a 2-foot leaf spread. Now, when we've grown Daikon radishes before, we never really got any roots out of them. I think because we have so much rabbit manure in the soil that it's just so much nitrogen that they grow really good leaves and not really good roots, which is okay because radish greens are really, really good. They're very mild salad green, and I've really enjoyed eating those. The other variety we're going to try is the Sukarajim giant. Sukarajim? Something like that. And these have been known to get up to 100 pounds. These radishes can get up to 100 pounds. They say commonly they get up to about 15 pounds. And they take 80 to 90 days. So they're even longer than the daikon, but they're supposed to be really big. They say harvest them when the root is about 10 inches across. So that's a pretty substantial sized radish. And we're going to try it out because the seeds were pretty inexpensive. We got most of these seeds at rareseeds.com, I believe is what it was called. And so that is, let me just make sure that that's what it is. Rareseeds.com, yep. And that's where we found all of these varieties we're talking about today. And I'll put that at the show notes, rareseeds.com. And you just plant them just like a regular radish, except for you want to leave them more space to grow. So then we're going to also do corn, which I know is an old standby, so I won't talk too much about it. But what we're going to try is the Bantam 12-row, and then we're going to try to grow some popcorn. It's called strawberry popcorn, because the kernels, or the ear on the popcorn is kind of small, and they're red kernels. And I've heard that from what we've read, the review said that the taste was really good. So we're going to give that a whirl. I had a friend who grew up in the Midwest, and he said knee-high by the 4th of July is a good rule of thumb for corn. But out here, if we can just get it harvestable and not have a bunch of mildew or any other fungus on it, then we're in good shape. So try the Bantam, which was a variety that people, was a go-to for garden varieties for a long, long time. And it's kind of, I guess, an improved on the Bantam, this 12-row. And then they'll do the popcorn, strawberry popcorn. The next one we're going to try is the vine peach. Now, vine peaches, they say they're like the size of a tree peach, but they taste kind of more like a mango, which all sounds great to me. That all sounds like a something I want to try. Vines are very aggressive, though. Somebody that lives in the South, I think it was Mississippi, said that the vines just took over, and anywhere where there might have been a fruit that he missed and got tilled into the ground, or he stepped on the fruit and it squished out, they just took over his garden. So if you live in a really warm climate, that might be something to think about. They're 80 days to maturity. They're tender, so you don't want to plant them out. You want to plant them out at the same time you plant out your cucumbers, and you can plant them on hills like you do a cucumber. So once again, just be careful about those warm climate people, that it might be a little bit too aggressive. I'm going to try it here. I like mangoes. I like peaches. I like growing things. And I think that if I can, maybe if they grow really well out here, maybe I can use them in the food forest for one of the vining portions of our food forest. Next one we're going to do is cucumber. Now I have a couple different kind of cucumbers here. That's why it's like, oh, that's another standby. Well, this is actually really good. So we did a pickling cucumber last year, and it grew like crazy. Now, the key, I think, is we grew beans next to it, which I think is a good companion plant for it. Not on purpose, just inadvertently. That fit well there, so we planted beans with it. But also, we made sure we put automatic water on there, and it grew like crazy. We had just cucumbers come out of our ears. There's just so many. So this year, we're going to do the regular cucumber, but we're also going to do the mouse melon, also known as the Mexican sour gherkin. And what it does is it grows little tiny cucumbers that are like the size of a big grape. And they're supposed to be like a cucumber with a little bit of a sour taste to them. Supposedly they're really good in salads and stuff. So we're going to go ahead and try the mouse melon or the Mexican sour gherkin. And there's other names for it, but that is one we're going to try this year, and I'm pretty excited about that. Lindsay really wants some shelling peas. We usually grow snap peas, but she said that she would like some shelling peas. So in addition to our snap peas, we're going to grow shelling peas, and you can start them early because it's a pea, and they're really cold hardy. Direct sow them. Make sure the rows, if it's a really big bush, if it's a dwarf variety, it's a small variety, then you can have the rows about a foot apart. But if it's going to be a big bushy variety, then do 3 feet apart for those rows. And you can sow them out 4 to 6 weeks before the last frost. Small peas can handle frost. They're very hardy. Then the second to the last here, we're going to do salad greens. And we're going to try a couple different kinds of salad greens. We're going to try some radicchio. And that is kind of like a spicy cabbage. And that just takes 60 to 65 days. So we're going to give that a whirl. Also, we're going to try some orach probably, O-R-A-C-H. And it's also called giant lamb's quarters, some people have called it. And it's an alternative to spinach. It's slow to bolt. It's a cool weather crop, but doesn't hate the heat like spinach does. Doesn't bolt as soon as it gets kind of warm outside. So we're going to do this orach, we're going to do some radicchio, we're going to also do some rainbow chard. We did chard last year, Swiss chard, and it was awesome. Rainbow chard was so tasty, and the Swiss I think is still alive out in the garden and sending up new leaves. We got a little kind of a warm spell right now here in the end of January, and they're sending up new leaves, so they're still alive, which is pretty awesome. And that is the salad greens we're going to try that are new. We're going to also do some lettuce and some regular spinach and arugula and stuff like that we usually do. But those are the new ones we're going to try. Then leek is the last one. This is the last one on the list. You want to sow. Leek takes a long time, 100 days, and you want to sow 8 to 10 weeks, direct sow into the garden, or I guess you could also start them indoors and then plant them out. I think people send them both ways. 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. Takes 100 days to mature, and it can be planted in the fall in mild climates. So if you have kind of a warmer climate, go ahead and plant it in the fall so it overwinters, so that it gets that cold time of the year to kind of grow, because it seems to like that. So those are the 10 plants that we're going to plant this year. If you found this interesting or whatever, you can plant them too. But I would appreciate hearing from you on any of the social medias or anywhere where we're at. Just go ahead and probably the best place is to go onto our website, and in the comment section under this episode, go ahead and give us a comment. Tell me what you're going to try this year, if it's different. Maybe if you want to hear about some plants that I can help you out with, just let me know. So once again, this has been the Haven Homestead Podcast, where we learn and grow together on our way to living more sustainable lives. Thanks for listening.